And now it's Deborah Cobelt Live and the Little Italy podcast.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. And please join my guest today, Dr. Cinzia Zuffada. She's with the Italian Scientists and Scholars in North America Foundation. She's the president of that. Also, Cinzia is the former deputy chief scientist at NASA JPL. And we're having you on as we approach Italian Heritage Month. And I thought it was so important, Cinzia, to talk about the incredible contributions of Italians in science and technology, not just over in Italy, but of the contributions they've made here in America and throughout the world. So I welcome you and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Deborah, for having me. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, I was thrilled to meet you the other week at our friend's event, who was doing an event for Chapman. That would be Vicky Carabini. And she introduced us. And I thought, what a marvelous interview you would make to put a spotlight on so many of the incredible scientists in Italy. And won't you talk a little bit about, please, the foundation that you're president of, the Italian Scientists and Scholars in North America, and what the mission is?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. ISSNAF is a nonprofit organization that is volunteer-based, and our goal is to promote scientific, academic, and technological cooperation between Italy and North America in all disciplines of research and scholarship. So it's really to connect, empower, and celebrate the vast, rich Italian intellectual diaspora that we have here, both in the United States and Canada. That's what North America stands for, and help retain a shared identity as Italians and Italian culture. ISSNAF was established in 2007 by 36 founding members, very prominent in their fields. And it included 4 Nobel Prize winners, so Italians who had been born and raised in Italy and educated in Italy, who then came to North America and made wonderful contributions, including winning for 4 of them the Nobel Prize. And it was established under the auspices of the Embassy of Italy in the USA, who recognizes the value of this community as an aggregate, as a a community they can depend upon, and it gives value to what they do and what they represent. Today, we have about 3,800 members, and wow, they are researchers in all areas of technology, research, and science. We have representations in all disciplines. The largest type of discipline is life sciences. A lot of doctors, of biologists, of biotechnologists, but also physical sciences, and then engineering and physics, but then also social sciences, economics, as well as the humanities. And so we are, as volunteers, committed to provide, to make ourselves available to form a network. And we are interested in partnering with the Italian Embassy and the consular networks and the Italian Institute of Cultural Institutes in events that we help organize, and we staff and participate.
There's many an event, particularly here in Los Angeles at the Italian Cultural Institute. They're magnificent there. What are some of the events that you've been a part of?
So as ISSNAF, we participate to the celebration of the Italian Research Day, which is a celebration made in the spring. It coincides formally with the birth of Leonardo da Vinci, We celebrate contributions from prominent researchers. There is typically an event with a speech by the person being recognized at the local level. There might be, depending on the time and whatever else is going on, that the embassy and the culture and the consulate networks embrace that particular year, there might be a specific focus, right? It's an opportunity to feature some of our members who are particularly meritorious. Another one that we do in Los Angeles in December, about mid-December, at the Italian Cultural Institute, is the celebration of Space Day, because Italy as a nation launched a satellite very early in the early 60s. And so it was one of the nations first to launch to space in partnership with the US. And so that's another opportunity to celebrate the great many contributions that our members, our community make in this country, and often in projects that are done in partnership with the Italian Space Agency.
Where do many of the people who are part of the foundation, where have many of them studied? Because there are particular universities in Italy that are very, very well known to have launched some of the top scientists, right?
Oh, yes, there is actually a host of universities in Italy that, we draw our membership from. Of course, it's University of Padova, University of Pisa, Politecnici, Milan and Torino, University of Pavia, Scuola Normale Superiore. Then, of course, Sapienza, a lot of members come from there. And then many people actually come, particularly in the older generations, from southern Italy. And so the University of Naples, university in Abruzzo. So those are smaller universities, but they have drawn, Puglia and Sicily, University of Catania, for example. So we have many, many members coming from most of the universities in Italy. And then, of course, they come here, they get established. A lot of them are academics, not all, but a lot of them are academics, and they are in numerous outstanding universities. Our top affiliations are New York University, Stanford, Columbia University, UCLA, UC Berkeley. Yeah. So all over. And then, of course, there are the national laboratories, like the Jet Propulsion Laboratory for NASA, but also the Lawrence Berkeley, a national laboratory in Northern California. There is also the National Institute of Health. A lot of our Italian colleagues work in the national labs. And they really have risen to, many of them, to prominent positions. That's what makes this network, this community, so special, because several of them are leaders within their organizations, and therefore can speak as leaders in the operations that we do vis-a-vis our community, and the type of programs that we support or we administer together with other organizations that sponsor them, some of them from Italy. So this amount of leaders is really outstanding.
Absolutely. Can you name for us some notable members that we would know of, that the general public would know? Like, for example, go ahead.
Yeah. So I can point to, the leadership of ISSNAF being made up of, there is a board of directors, and that has, very rich participation from over 10 primarily professors, but not only. So let me start with Pierluigi Zappacosta, who is our treasurer and secretary, a founding member of ISSNAF and an officer currently of ISSNAF, who is a co-founder of Logitech. Here is an example of somebody who has excelled at transforming research into entrepreneurship and has been recognized for these contributions. Then amongst the professors, very notable, we have Elisa Bertino, Napoleone Ferrara, Giulia Galli. We have Alberto Salleo, Alessandro Sette, who is in the Southern California area, Guido Silvestri, Alberto San Giovanni Vincentelli. So these are members of the board of directors. Some of them are founding members of ISSNAF. We also have a scientific council. The scientific council is a body that has, again, very prominent professors. I can point out Riccardo Dalla Favera, who is a doctor with Columbia University, a recipient last year of our Career Achievement Award at ISSNAF, a member of the elected to the American Institute, the Institute of Science. So very, very prominent. Other professors at universities all over the country, including Ivy League schools. Riccardo, as I said, is from Columbia. These are all very prominent personalities. And then we also have an honorary board. And the honorary board is chaired by the ambassador of Italy to the United States. That's the type of board, right, that has, again, several prominent people who have done very, very substantial achievements. Let me say Andrew Viterbi, Professor Viterbi, who came from Italy as a little child to the United States to raise as an important professor at USC, where there is the Viterbi Institute. Of course, he has a number of discoveries and inventions to his name as professor of communication, and then he has launched several companies. Silvio Micali, another expert in the technology of blockchain, for example. Guido Calabresi, who is a judge who has been affiliated with Yale. Rita Caldwell, Professor Caldwell, Italian-American, who has been the first woman to lead the National Science Foundation. So these are, just to name a few, these are the type of people in the leadership of the organization. And of course, the fact that the embassy honors our organization by having the ambassador be the chair is a distinction that does us honor, but also recognizes the value that we provide as a community, right, in the aggregate to many things that have to do with building bridges between our two countries for the benefit of societies and for everyone, really, going beyond the individuals.
It's amazing. Italians are often known for their culinary skill, for art, for culture, for fashion. And it's so important that people understand the massive contributions in science, technology, AI, right? What are some of the new developments that you're hearing about that some of our scientists are working on and researching in the development of AI and technology? Can you share?
Oh, there is really many.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Last year, we featured, our annual event theme was artificial intelligence. And this annual event is held at the embassy, and it brings together experts exactly for this purpose of reflecting on a theme that is important. And we had, last year, we had a round panel discussion, and it was chaired by Professor Elisa Bertino, a member of our board, who is a very well-recognized scientist, both in the United States and Italy. She is an expert in cybersecurity, so knowledgeable about many aspects in AI because they are married, right? Another professor whom we have on our scientific council, expert in artificial intelligence, is Phil Menser. And they were present. We had a roundtable discussion that debated themes of the importance of AI for example, in applications for medicine and human health. One of the panelists at the roundtable was Giorgio Quer, who is local. He is at Scripps Institute, where he directs the section on artificial intelligence, right? So that's an example of the sort of people who are part of our community and the type of contributions that they do. This year, our annual event is on quantum technologies. And so we have a very similar effort. Of course, I don't want to give too much away. The event is going to be held again at the Embassy of Italy in DC. And there will be a roundtable discussion about quantum technologies chaired by Professor Andrea Lu of the University of New York, the City University of New York, featuring, again, experts from primarily the US, of course, Italian experts or people of Italian origins or with Italian collaborations. That is the spirit of a discussion held at the embassy, is exactly to feature the prominent members who are at the forefront of the developments in their disciplines.
This is very interesting. Something I would actually love to attend, because it's just very important to understand some of the great things that we're doing, pushing us through in society and making incredible contributions. If I may, I'd love to know more about that.
Absolutely.
Please,
It's on November 6th. And if you go to our website at www.issnaf.org, you will see that there is a marked calendar with some information about this event. And it will be my pleasure to invite you.
Yeah, that's very exciting. In fact, I'm going to be on the East Coast at that time. So this could work out. We'll see.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about your work that you did at NASA JPL, because I know that you're quite esteemed in what you did and very highly regarded. Can you do that?
Sure. So I am a member of the Jet Propulsion Laboratory since early 1992. So it has been over 33 years, right? And my appointment is actually officially coming to an end at the end of this week. So I'm retiring at the end of the fiscal year, right? So it's quite an achievement for me as well. And of course, the reason for wanting to move in a different direction is that I want to be able to spend more time in Italy, where I have collaborations with Italian universities, and I do some teaching and research, working collaboratively. But anyway, at JPL, I have been both a researcher and sometimes I think the word pioneer has been used in reference to my work, in that I've been pioneering the development of a new technology for Earth observations from satellite, which is the reflectometry based on the GPS satellite systems. And that's a technology that uses the signals that the GPS broadcasts, those same signals that we use in our cell phone and, everywhere. They are really ubiquitous. And they become sources that can then be used to also look at the Earth globally from the vantage point of space and learn about processes that are useful in geophysics. For example, in the last 10 years, have been using this technique, the reflectometry, so observing GPS signals reflected from bodies of water on the earth, such as wetlands or inundated surfaces, to monitor dynamically the behavior of these systems, right, which are dynamically moving. Wetlands, as you might know, are very valuable ecosystems that exist on the surface of the earth. They are an important source of nutrients for earth. They sustain a lot of animals, a lot of vegetable species, and they are also important to communities who live around the wetlands for fishing and so on and so forth. And so it's important to monitor how they are doing over long time series to understand what is happening to them. By contrast, unwanted water on surfaces, such as in the case of inundations, so events that are natural hazards that can affect Earth on a large scale, large regions that get inundated with lots of people put at risk, right? That's also an important thing to monitor again from space. And this is a technology that can be used to do that. And it has been part of my research experience. So as a leader of the laboratory, I've been, as the deputy chief scientist, I've been a senior leader in the decision-making regarding the overall directions of science at the lab, understanding the priorities that the laboratory must have, understanding how to apply the resources to do the important research by our community so that we keep the laboratory at the forefront of being competitive in the NASA family, given that it is a competitive environment, and taking care of the research community. JPL has a large research community that lives out of proposals, right? It's very difficult to survive as a researcher because your good ideas need to be approved so that you have the funds to be able to conduct your research projects. And so as a senior leader, I've been focusing on all of these ingredients to make the environment at JPL good for the competitiveness of my organization.
Yeah, very important. What about young scientists and students? Are you able to get those, the younger people coming up, connected with what's going on here in America? Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, that's an excellent question, because it goes at the heart of what we do at ISSNAF, right? I've spoken about this community of very well-established, successful scientists and scholars, but one of the things that we would like to do, we do in life, is really recognize and celebrate the achievements of the early career people. We have numerous awards for young investigators, and we have a cycle in the year. Right now, the cycle for 2025 is coming to an end. We are selecting a batch of finalists, 3 for each of our 5 awards, and they will be invited to present their research in a poster session at the embassy at our annual event on November 6th, in the presence of the ambassador and of our community who will be there. And then the winners for each award will be announced and will be celebrated. That's one component. We also have a mentoring program that we make available to our community here, again, to mentor those that have just arrived. They need to get well integrated. They need to expand their network, be able to become more productive and more competitive. And that's what we do. But we also open this program to people from Italy who are still younger, students who
Right.
you would like to explore maybe coming to the United States or Canada in the course of their trajectory in Italy while pursuing a degree. And so we have a large mentor pool, and we pair them up with people who can guide them in their exploration. And sometimes it's a matter of getting them prepared to apply for grad school. Sometimes is helping them identify an opportunity to come to North America to have an internship. So
Right.
spend some time as visitors. And we have actually a mobility program that is in support of the Italian University's internationalization program. It's formally supported financially by the Ministry of University and Research. We are very proud to be developing an infrastructure that allows access at scale by Italian students and Italian universities to our pool of valuable researchers who are also interested in hosting students, postdocs, early career researchers in particular, for periods of enrichment, right? They come for a period, it could be a few months, it could be a year or longer. And what happens is that they get to work on a common research project, they get to publish, and it's very valuable, I would say, for both sides as an enrichment. It strengthens for collaboration, and sometimes it forms new collaborations. And for the young people coming from Italy, it's an enormous, valuable opportunity to expand their horizons and to understand how things work in a different environment, which for a researcher is really absolutely necessary.
This has been so interesting to hear all about what you do and really put a spotlight on Italian scientists and all the terrific contributions. There's so much that people can learn. Any final words you'd like to say? And if people want to reach out to you, how they can do that?
So for sure, I would really love for people to reach out. I would say to ISSNAF in general. We do have, for very general question, you can email us at office@issnaf.org for, general questions. We do have some of our volunteers and collaborators who will direct you appropriately. The website is full of information, and feel free to write to me personally if you want to explore learn more about the programs that I have talked about, or how to get involved, to be a volunteer, to be perhaps part of the leadership, to be a mentor. We do have a number of opportunities to get you involved. And we have also affiliates, right? So for those who are not Italian, maybe second generation Italian or not necessarily, but you still want to get involved with us, you are welcome as well. So
Yeah.
with that, I again thank you for the wonderful opportunity that you have given to me to reach out this way and talk about primarily what we do here at the foundation.
Absolutely. And I also want to note how important it is to have women in this field of science, and look at the position that you hold as a woman in science. So I think that's important that we continue for that to grow as well.
Absolutely, Deborah. I support that. I have, as a deputy chief scientist, acted at the time when, there was an increased, let's say, sensitivity towards recognizing
Right.
the contributions of women. So I do believe it's very important. We must not let it, drop here. It's very important to continue to encourage women to enroll in STEM and then choose careers in research.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It starts at the education level. Very, very important. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us today. It was really very enlightening. I learned quite a bit. I really did. So I'm just thrilled and honored to have you on our program. And I look forward to continuing, our discussion as well. And everybody, you can find our interview on our Little Italy podcast and also Deborah Cobelt Live. They're on both of the platforms, and you'll find us on YouTube, on Facebook, also on Instagram. We'll post some promos about our interview and from our interview. And also, we are an audio podcast on iHeartRadio, on Spotify, and anywhere else you can find our interview. And please share it with your friends too. I really did find it very, very interesting and very enlightening. So thank you once again for joining us, and please look up the Italian Scientists, Scholars in North America Foundation. Again, that's ISSNAF. Please look that up and reach out as well if you're interested in being involved or learning more. I'm your host, Deborah Zappacosta, and it was a pleasure to have you. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.